Hey, are you fearful? You ought to be fearful. The stop-loss hunters, they're coming for you. They know if you've been naughty, and they know if you've been nice, but regardless, the stop-loss hunters are coming. They come in the dark of night, they come in the bright of day, but they're coming right now. The fear level is high. Traders are running for their lives. They're running for their lives because the stop-loss hunters are coming. Hey, on a brighter note, Grandpa's being facetious here. On a brighter note, we have a death cross here on the 5-minute chart. Now, how do you determine if you have a death cross? And I'm going to tell you a little more about the fear factor here coming up shortly and what you might want to do about it. But for right now, let's talk about death crosses because we've got more than just the 5-minute. I'm going to start with the 5-minute. We are going to go from chart to chart and look at our death crosses because we've got a few of them. Now, let's look at the 15-minute and I'll see if I can cheer you up. Oh boy, we have a death cross. Where did it hit? Let's look. We are going back in time here. It hit up at 453.5. So in the 15-minute, we have approximately a $51 death cross. Oh boy, a $51 death cross. You know, the good thing about death crosses. After a death cross, the next thing you will get is a golden cross. It's just the question of when. So now let's go to the 30-minute chart because so far you've got 2 death crosses and it's not looking too good. I'd be fearful too if I were you. Okay, so here we have a death cross. The 50 moves through the 200 heading downward, and this one hit at 444. So in the 30-minute, you have approximately a $41 death cross. Okay, let's look at the hourly. Oh boy, it's got to get better, doesn't it? Oh, in the hourly, we have a death cross. It hit at just about 449. So you got about a $47 death cross in the hourly. And I'll tell you right now, we don't have one in the 4-hour, but the fair opening price is bright and shining. Yes, the fair opening price is 41144 for Thursday. We've got big news on deliveries coming out for Thursday morning at 9 a.m. The consensus is that 56,000 vehicles would be delivered. That's what's expected. The analysts are pretty much split on which way it's going to go, but it looks to Grandpa like it might not be too good, but who knows? Analysts are split. A bunch of them are saying that we should get 515, which would be bullish, and to the moon we will go, or a bunch of them are saying it's going to miss, and we are not even going to get 56, we are going to get about 500. And if that's the case, you are probably going to see 338. So if you were scared before, imagine how scared you are now. Grandpa's terrible, Grandma's patiently waiting in her little cash account. Grandma always makes a profit. I don't know how she does it, she just waits. She's got so much patience, they should have named her Patience. Okay, so yeah, she's looking rough. We're going to go to the monthly chart here, and I've got a few things to point out to you. Number 1 is 398.87, just where the wick takes off of this monthly candle. This candle is done, it is done. We are going to start a new candle on Thursday, and that's just the way it is. But that number right there, I'll tell you what, if we don't hold 400, look for 338. If we close below 400, we can go down and touch this 398.12. That's support right there, folks. We can go down with a wick and come off of it, but if we close below 400, look for 338. So figure out what your plan of action is if that's the case. Now, I'm going to scare you a little more. This is scary right here. Here, this is the weekly chart. Each candle is a week. This particular candle does not finish until Friday, so it's 2 days old, but if it stays exactly like it is now, red, this green candle, the body of it fits into the previous one followed by a red candle means that we would have a sell signal in the weekly chart. Nasty, 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 nasty. Fearful, very fearful. It's probably going to be Thursday night before we know for sure what color this candle's going to be, 100%, but it ain't looking good. I can tell you that. It looks like it's going to be red. I can't call it yet, I'd like to call it, but it looks to Grandpa like the dominant trend is going to be down coming into the new year. Opportunities never end in the stock. The movement is huge. You can make a lot of moolah with the movement in this stock. The daily is still a buy signal with 3 red candles, bear flag, but I'm telling you, this thing can have a bear flag that'll take you all the way to 348. So what more can I say? The only good news you really have is Grandpa's fair opening price of 411.44. We hit the fair opening price today by George. 420.05 went through it multiple times. Grandpa sold a whole bunch up at 427 early this morning, just so I could do a little averaging. That's all I did. But yeah, we got death crosses, you know, and when Grandpa says buy the dip, that's probably around the 340, 338 area if we break the 400. If we close below that 400, we're on our way to a real buying opportunity, a real buying opportunity. Okay, we had a high to low today, the range was $25.30. That's why Grandpa loves Tesla. We got movement in this stock. And in these higher dollar ranges, you'll see higher movement, and the more movement you have, the more opportunity you have in a stock. High today was 427.90. We had a low of 402.54, and after hours, let me look once what we dipped down to here because it changes quite often. 401.70. 401.70 is possibly your new bottom pivot point, we'll see. Closed at 403.84. Indexes were down today substantially, or a fair amount at least, and Tesla, of course, underperformed the market. Divergence, volume increased, 3 million shares on falling prices, approximately 66 million shares were bought and sold, and Grandpa sees that as pretty neutral. Dominant trend, like I say, is questionable currently. Technically, the dominant trend is still up, but we are a day away from the dominant trend being down, and that's what it's looking like it's going to do. Pivot points, well, our previous low pivot point from before, well, let's talk about our top one. Our top pivot point is 488.54, and we are currently looking for a new bottom pivot point, and once we get it, this thing will be off to the races, up and down, and all around, but it will be up until we make a new top pivot point. Your future is bright. It is coming in your near future, but you might have to have a little bit of patience here. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's 3 weeks, might be a month or more. Grandma's patiently waiting, that's why Grandma always makes money, she just waits, and that's what she's doing right now. She bought the dip in the 408 area the last time, and she's all in right now. Grandma's all in, she's got her average, and she's waiting, and she will make a huge profit when she sells them. So, pivot points, previous low was 302.70 back in the day. 401.70, our low, is that going to be our bottom pivot? Truthfully, I don't think so. I think it could be. If there's a ton of buys at that 400 at the even numbers where they like to stick them. Okay, and if there's just a ton of them there, regardless if we hit that 400, I would assume that we're probably going to get somewhat of a bounce. I would look for a bounce, and then sell some more and rebuy at the 400 area. That's Grandpa's plan, averaged down a little bit. I improved my positions by about $25 today, so I was happy with that part, but she's a rough game, I'll tell you what. Okay, now listen to this because volume is so important. When this thing starts doing 50 million volume, and some 40 millions possibly, but it gets into the 50 million range, they run sideways, they start boring us to death. Everybody's just in fear of 300 coming and below. That's really when she's going to take off in a big way. We had 66 million volume today, approximately 63 million yesterday, day before that 82, day before that 75, day before that 59, day before that 70, and we spiked out up when we were up at that 488 area with the volume in the, I believe it was the 129 range if my memory is correct. But bottom line is these are pretty low volumes. It could actually run up off of these volumes. It doesn't have to go to 50 million, it's just that it usually does. So we are getting fairly close to where we are going here the way it looks. Upside resistance, you've got resistance at 412, of course, you have a little bit of resistance at the fair opening price of 411.44, 412, 421, 431, 445, and of course, the 488 area. Downside support, $400, 40. Can't remember how I come up with that number, and of course, 398.1 to that I got off of that monthly candle. 398.12. You don't want to see a close or an open below $400. If we open below 400, expect the worst, 388. Remember, it's always darkest before the dawn, 388. Down below that, I don't think it'll hold. If we break 400, I'm telling you, 370, 320, I don't think it'll hold. 367, Grandpa could be wrong. 367, I don't think it'll hold. 338, sure number, that's Grandpa's humble opinion. Yep, we're looking for a bottom pivot, break of 400, 338 is very likely. Oh, Happy New Year to you. Hey, they gave us 3 death. Oh no, see, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 death crosses for a Happy New Year present. Oh boy, it's wonderful, yeah. So Tesla deliveries, we talked about that. Elon says that deliveries in 2025 are going to be up, according to Elon, approximately 30%. That's going to be huge for Tesla. We don't have that long till Trump gets in office. Elon's in charge of the DOGE Department of Government Efficiency along with the Vice. Then get that crazy Congress to put Mike Johnson in so that we don't have delays on Trump getting his stuff through. We'll be off to the races. Got a couple of these knuckleheads that want to hold the show up, and I just can't believe how ignorant some of our politicians seem to be. Grandpa's opinion, you've got Trump's got a mandate from the people, and if they go against his wishes regarding the speaker, I think they just ought to just hang them out to dry, never let them be in politics again, ever. That's Grandpa's opinion, but Grandpa's opinionated, you know. So yeah, oh, and expect the unexpected in this stock, expect the unexpected. I was very thankful for that bounce up this morning, made Grandpa look good, you know. Grandpa likes to look good once in a while. Can't Grandma always looks good? It's kind of nice if Grandpa gets to look a little bit good once in a while. So yeah, if you are fearful, you ought to be fearful, you ought to be fearful. I'd be fearful too if I was you. If you have a cash account, you ain't got nothing to be fearful about, you just got to have some patience, that's what Grandma's got. But if you've got a margin account, you need to be doing some more praying, and then you need to think about eternity once in a while. That's right, think about eternity once in a while. We've got a deal going at church tonight, got a service at 7 o'clock. Grandpa's going to sit right up in the front because Grandpa needs a lot of work, that's why. Yeah, Grandpa needs a lot of work. Maybe the Lord will work on Grandpa and straighten him out. You can only hope. You can only hope. Don't worry, the Lord knew what the price of Tesla was going to be before we were born. He knows everything. That's why we need to think about eternity once in a while, Grandpa does. Oh, like, share, and subscribe. Don't take anything Grandpa says as financial advice. Grandpa's not a financial planner. And merry, happy, a happy new year to you, and don't blame Grandpa. You know, if you sell your shares around 400 here, you bail out, you are scared to death, don't blame Grandpa when, in a couple of months from now, they're 1,000 apiece, and you know, that's why Grandma's hanging on to her shares. You just don't know. This thing is wild. If them deliveries come through good on Thursday morning, we could be at 488 by Thursday night, you just don't know. But I don't blame you if you are a little fearful right now, extreme fear. The traders are scared, and I don't blame them. Okay, Grandpa's done enough talking. See you next year. I'll see you next year, goodbye, Happy New Year. Oh, wait a second, Whoopie Doopie. Whoopie Doopie, what is Whoopie Doopie anyway? Well, Whoopie Doopie is coming, you are going to be able to all be part of Whoopie Doopie. I'll tell you that much, but I'm not letting the cat out of the bag yet. If you want to hear about Whoopie Doopie and how you can be a part of it, check out one of my next live streams. Maybe I'll tell you, I can't remember if I'm supposed to talk about it, that's how crazy Grandpa is. But yeah, Whoopie Doopie is coming soon, and I know you are down and out right now. Most of you guys go along, and it looks a little bleak right now, but you are dealing with a stock that'll move $50 one day and $30 the next. You've got nothing to worry about, just relax, buy the dip if you have any money, and think about Whoopie Doopie. This is an opportunity for you to be part of something big, it's called Whoopie Doopie. Oh man, everybody wants to be part of Whoopie Doopie, Grandpa wants to be part of it, Grandma is going to be part of Whoopie Doopie. Yep, you are going to just love it. It's if you've heard of prestigious organizations before, well, there's none more prestigious than Whoopie Doopie. Not just anybody gets into the Whoopie Doopie club, not just everybody, but you can. Yep, and Grandpa will tell you how to do it, and when you are in the Whoopie Doopie club, your trading is probably going to improve quite a bit, at least I hope so. Will you be as good as Grandma? I doubt it, but you might exceed Grandma's abilities. That is possible, that is possible. You've got the abilities, you've got the brain, you've got it all going on. Have patience. See you next year, bye-bye.